To be 100%, it's been very, very difficult. I have lost 3 friends in Detroit, are gone. 3
so
close
sorry.
friends, not distant,
I'm so
like
sorry.
close friends. And so
Joining me now is Jessica Care Moore. She is a poet, she is a performer, she is a playwright, and she's right here in Detroit with us. Jessica, it's good to see you.
good to be seen. And I'm quarantined with my teenager. So
Which brings on a whole host of other problems and things that you never thought you'd have to consider.
yeah, it's life has changed in a real interesting way, but it's peaceful in my home, and we take breaks and go outside and take walks and things. But it's been interesting because my entire tour was canceled, and we want our bodies back. It's my first collection on a major press. I've been anthologized by everybody in all the anthologies that include poets, contemporary poets for the most part, and even in some textbooks. But it was my first collection that I decided I would give to my agent and try to get my work out more widely distributed, right? Because I've been doing more Black press, publishing books since 1997. So I could have done this book myself. And so I made a big decision. And then here comes this pandemic, the tour is, I was supposed to be on the road. The 17th was my kickoff in Detroit, and I was supposed to be gone until May.
And life changes in an instant.
Yeah, it's okay though. I'm healthy. So I'm not, the money it's hard. It's hard for every independent artist I know. I think there's a lot of, I guess, misinformation, or people just don't kind of understand how artists make a living who are not like mainstream Rihanna, or Beyonce, like people who are not like multi-million billionaires, like people who really have a working class existence as an artist. And that's definitely me. I'm a working class poet living in Detroit, and I make my living getting on planes and going to perform or going to talk or workshop with people all over the world. And so to be literally grounded, it puts a lot of things in perspective. It makes me think about like, what am I doing? Because sometimes as a full-time artist, you question your decision making. Like, should I just go get a teaching gig and then do poetry on the side? But it's different when you're doing that. I do residency work, but when you are full-time and you really can dedicate your brain to being creative, and but this country doesn't support the arts. It just doesn't. No administration has. It's not just Trump's administration. There hasn't been an administration that says, we're going to find a way to take care of artists so that when it's slow, we have some kind of unemployment, right?
It's actually a huge part of our economy, and it's in a huge part of our emotional being that we all need in some way, shape, or form. And it's really, we're not understanding that need in a monetary way.
Yeah. And it's a real need for artists like me because I have a family to take care of. And so it's, so I think this is a learning, like this self-employment. Could you ask my son not to turn the water off? Thank you. He's like slamming the dishes. I'm like,
this is what doing work from home is all about. I completely understand.
I'm like, okay, he's just slamming at least he's doing the dishes. So there's that. Yeah, and so it's I think it's going to be learning this I don't know if we're ever going to really get this money, this $600 a week for self-employed gig workers. When I heard gig workers, like all my musician friends were like, oh, that's what we do. Because they were talking about Uber Eats drivers. Well, like gig workers are artists who have to travel for gigs to make a living. And so, yeah, it makes me rethink, but I'm figuring out ways. I have to say that this community in Detroit and my fans and people who follow my work across the country have sustained me. For the last 3 weeks, I've been selling Detroit Thick t-shirts. People have been buying my 4th book, been buying my vinyl. So I've been telling people, no, I don't want to do GoFundMe. No, buy my stuff, like buy my merch. If you support my work, then purchase my books. I'm creating something for you to have. And so people have been buying. So the only place I've been going besides the supermarket is the post office. So
there you go.
Yeah, so you got to see the blessing.
Well, and then finding that community as well. And again, I would think that it'd have to be difficult for an artist who takes and is given so much energy from an audience when you're reading for them, when you're performing in front of them and getting the ideas and everything that comes through. How have you kind of, I guess, harnessed that energy, redirected it, where you're at this point?
This is what we need these millennials to step up and figure this thing out for us, because we want to have an audience. And that's what's missing, because we are the opposite of social distancing. Like what I do, I'm a hugger. I'm a person that after my performance at a university, I'm there for an hour and a half with the students afterwards, talking to them. I go to dinner with the students, so it's not like I'm doing my poems and bye. I'm very like hands-on, and which makes my work important, and so you're trying to figure out, how am I important sitting in front of a screen? And so when I did a reading last night with Jay Ivey. I have a reading coming up with Kevin Powell, and I are in conversation. He was supposed to be in conversation with me at my book release in New York. Talib Kweli was supposed to DJ. And so we're just taking it online, and having conversations like this really help. Like just connecting with you, being able to talk to another person. And when I read my work, I can find it. I can find a way to delve into the text in a way that I can tune everybody up. Because sometimes even there's an audience, I'm still gone. So I can still go away, even with just one person. But you do have to find that inner thing and you're thinking about audience that isn't there, but audience that is there. So whoever's watching this, and I read a poem, I want to make sure they feel the poem. So I have to just really use my imagination and say, people are seeing this. So read it like you would if they were in front of you. So
is there any inspiration to being home where you are in this space, not able to do exactly what you want to do?
I'm stir crazy. But what's been interesting? My patio, I spent about 2 hours yesterday morning on my patio. I have a wood patio that my friend built for me. And I just literally it's crazy, but my birds and my squirrels are crazy. And the birds, you can hear the birds. I don't know wherever people live in Michigan, but the birds I have this fence that these birds in my neighborhood are in love with. And so the birds are back there. They have a whole life. So I've just been examining life and kind of celebrating. And I watched these squirrels. The squirrel had this huge pizza up in a tree. And I was like, you're a crazy squirrel. So I was talking to the wildlife. We have rabbits. I'm in Boston Edison. There's rabbits. We have loud pheasants, which because we're so quiet, these loud human beings that make the world noisy, you could actually hear the wildlife that's in the neighborhoods. And so that's been helpful. And I need this when the sun comes out, it helps. These are even, I don't mind the rainy nights if the sun comes out the way it will, like the way it's shining right now. And so and then I'm getting music sent to me. I have a couple producers that I was like, please send me music. I need to write. And I'm actually about to order equipment, something that I've been saying, I need to get studio equipment. I need to record my voice. And now I'm like, I have to do it. I have to spend the money and invest in having recording, creating a studio in the house. My son is interested in music production now. He wants to get, something Logic or Fruity Loops or something so he can start making his music outside of his piano playing. And so we're trying to figure out those things that you say that if I was at home, I would. I'm trying to get to that. But to be 100%, it's been very, very difficult. I have lost 3 friends in Detroit are gone. 3 close friends, not distant, close friends. And so as soon as you're trying to process that, here comes another one. And then in addition to my personal friends, my friends, family members, my friends who've lost their grandmothers, their mothers. It's been hard. Facebook, I had to take a break because in Detroit, especially, it's just been so hit. We've been hit. Black community here has been hit so hard, and it's a closer knit community than people realize. We're very up South people from Alabama, and we all know each other. I almost know everybody in the city.
And I think it's also the grief of not being able to put your arms around someone and be with them and be present with them, to be able to talk about it. And then the news and the waves, it just keeps coming.
Yeah, because even the funerals are for the living. We know this. So it's for us to be able to heal and honor the person that was alive, but that person's gone, and you can't even, my friend, Marlo, his wife wasn't able to hold his hand, and you just think about these things. My friend Arthur just came back from the hospital. My best friend Charlotte, her sister has been moved to hospice. It's hardcore what's happening right now, and I'm trying to, find a way to be creative in the middle of it. But some days I'm really just honestly sad. So, and I allow myself to just be like, okay, today I'm just not in a good place, and I'm having a moment. But I try to stay out of it because I have my 13-year-old to entertain on some level, and he's been good. I'm happy that he's not kind of in a funk. He just needs things to do outside of, he's in school full time on Google. He's in private school, so thank God he will be able to finish 8th grade with work. And it's sad for our Detroit public school kids who might get passed on, but if they're not doing the work, they're going to be behind when they get in school next year. Yeah. Unless you have, a mom or dad at home that can really facilitate an online experience. So
yeah, and devices and unlimited resources. I mean, and that's something that we all don't have.
Yeah, 45%, I think, is the number of Detroit public school kids. So they put out the online piece, but then 45% of the families couldn't access it because of internet should just be free. Like what some internet company needs to say, let's just give Metro Detroit free internet, and these other cities as well where kids can't afford it, And I've been inside these schools here, and so I know my babies don't have smartphones. And I tell my son, who's 13, I said, my kids in high school don't have these things that you have. So it's a privileged, place to be, just to be able to be online with you right now, because I paid my internet bill. That's the bill. The gas bill used to be really important. Now it's like, I'm going to play that Xfinity over. I took my HBO off though, because
I couldn't connect. So give people a sense of what it is like to escape a little bit through art, through poetry, through music during a time like this when we don't know what's next. What is it about that?
The work has carried me into so many different spaces and helped me heal through a lot of things. And We Want Our Bodies Back is what I've been calling this book, is like a healing, because it really is for me. It's a very personal work. I open talking about wanting my daddy's body back from Henry Ford Hospital, like wanting to literally go in and get him out of there. And then I go into, and then there's joyful poems about Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee, celebrating who they were to me personally. I was able to meet and work with Ossie Davis. On one occasion, I worked with Ossie Davis. We read slave narratives at the Abyssinian Church in Harlem. And so he was sitting right next to me, and I wrote a poem about how nervous I was with Ossie Davis sitting right next to me. And after I read my narrative, I sat down next to him, and he shoved me in my side with his elbow. And he said, "You done good," And so there's celebration there to balance out, some of the pain. Ntozake Shange was a big influence in my life. I learned about Ntozake Shange's work in a Black Box theater at Cody High School. Susan Story, my drama teacher, who I adore to this day, changed my life when she brought her into the classroom. And so there's poems. Ntozake has passed away a couple of years ago now, and I've written lots of poems for her, and her work is in the book. Poems for Sonia Sanchez, lots of homages that you don't realize it until you're done with it. And I'm like, yeah.
So tell everybody where they can get the book, Jessica.
Oh, you can get the book anywhere. If you're not feeling Amazon, you can get it I'm telling people you can get it on Amazon, but if not, you can get your local bookstore that's online. A lot of these bookstores, the independent ones in particular, really need your support. So you can, in Detroit, Source Booksellers, this carries my book. And so you can call Source and get online with Source and their order and hold the book for you, or I'm assuming they'll send it to you. Amazon is a quick way to get it. BarnesandNobles.com, anywhere books are sold, the book is there. If they want to support me right now, JessicaKiermore.com. And that's where you can get my other books and things.
Is there anything that you would want to read for us right now that kind of speaks to you? Tell me.
I want to read something. I want to read, it's not a long piece. It's just, I used to be a roller coaster girl. And it's a poem that I wrote. I had some time with Ntozake Shange before she passed away. I'm so grateful for the time I spent with her in Miami, with her, Sonia Sanchez, and the Last Poets. So they had a weekend Maroon Festival, and they were honoring Aja Monet as a poet, and she was honoring them. And so I decided just to come. I wasn't even there to really do. I was like, I'm coming. I stayed at their hotel just so I could spend the mornings with them. So this is called I Used to Be a Roller Coaster Girl, because it's based on a conversation I had with Ntozake. I used to be a roller coaster girl, 7 times in a row, no vertigo in these skinny legs. My lipstick bubblegum pink as my Panther 10 speed, never kissed. Nappy pigtails, no brand gym shoes, white line yellow short shorts, scratched up legs pedaling past borders of hummus and baba ganoush, masjid and liquor stores, city chicken, pepperoni bread, and Superman ice cream cones. Yellow, black, blending with bits of Arabic, Islam, and Catholicism. My daddy was Jesus. My mother was quiet. Jane Kennedy was worshipped by my brother Mark. I don't remember having my own bed before 12. Me and my sister Lisa shared. Sometimes all three more girls slept in the queen. You grow up so close, never close enough. I used to be a roller coaster girl, wild child full of flowers and ideas, useless crushes on Polish boys in a school full of white girls, future black swine singing Zeppelin, U2, and Rick Springfield, hoping to be Jesse's girl. I could outrun my brothers and everyone else to that reoccurring line. I used to be a roller coaster girl till you told me I was moving too fast, said my rush made your head spin, my laughter hurt your ears, a scream of happiness, a scream of freedom pouring out my armpits, sweating up my neck. You were always the scared one. I kept my eyes open for the entire trip. Right before the drop, I would brace myself and let the force push my head back into that hard iron seat. My arms nearly fell off a few times. Still, I kept running back to that line when I was done, same way I kept running back to you. I used to be a roller coaster girl. I wasn't scared of mountains or falling. Hell, I look forward to flying and dropping off this earth and coming back to life every once in a while. I found some peace in being out of control, allowing my blood to race through my veins for 180 seconds. I earn my sometimes nicotine pull. I buy my own damn drinks, and the ocean still calls my name when it feels my toes near its shore. I still love roller coasters. And you grow up to be afraid of all girls who could ride fearlessly like me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.